Hello, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. It is your boy GZTV. We're back. We have The Walking Dead, the 12th episode of Season 10, which I watched just recently. This came out like a little over 3 years ago, by the way, just for like context. So the show just ended like last year too. So there's that. We're going to finish this show. As boring as it gets sometimes, this episode was pretty crazy, and the ending was kind of wild. So can't wait to talk about it with you guys. So, you know the plot, the critical reception, then I'm probably going to take a break, go watch Dexter, and come back down and make a 2K gameplay video on the new Rush Zach LaVine card. Dunk contest champion, man. But, so yeah, let's just talk about it. So, as the battle between the Hilltop and the Whisperers rages, the sheer volume of walkers slowly begins overwhelming the survivors, compounded by the Whisperers setting much of the community ablaze. So, you know, their backs are against the wall, similarly to kind of how, like, the Saviors took them on at, like, the prison, or, like, the governor did that at the prison. Like, you know, obviously, there's always been a huge battle with each villain we've gotten in this show. The survivors begin to retreat when the Whisperers destroy one of the Hilltop's walls. I mean, boom, 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 things are just getting knocked down. There's no place for home here. Like, you were done. We're done as a community here. Like, we gotta go find refuge somewhere. Judith kills a Whisperer she believed to be a walker, shaking her as this is the first human life she has taken. She and the other children are ushered away by Earl, and this is kind of like an interesting kind of turning point for Judith. You know, she kind of reaches a bit of maturity with this. Obviously, she's matured really early, having gone through an apocalypse. I mean, I feel like most kids would, being put in this situation, but yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Eugene recovers the radio he was using to contact Stephanie from Barrington House, while Yumiko is shocked to see Magna camouflaged amongst the horde. She became a part of the Walkers or the Whisperers. She was pretty much a temporary member of the Whisperers to get back to Hilltop. Obviously, she sees that everything's burned down, so there's really not a lot of hope for these people right now. But yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, the next morning, Alpha tells Negan that she will not consider the battle a victory until she has regained Lydia. That is kind of like her mission the entire time. Negan subsequently stumbles upon Aaron, who reacts in anger to Negan switching sides, but retreats when walkers start to close in. Negan's like, yep, I'm out, later, you can deal with that, they don't know I'm a fucking human. Negan then proceeds to find Lydia in the woods and captures her, tying her up in a cabin while the other survivors migrate towards planned rendezvous points. You know, they kind of have an escape plan for this. Obviously, they're fighting the Whisperers. These are pretty vicious, ruthless people. So, like, they're going to want to have a plan. So, yeah, that's that, I guess. When Mary, Alden, Kelly, and Adam are confronted by walkers, Mary lures them away, only to be killed by Beta, ripping off part of Beta's mask before she dies. Beta then kills a Whisperer who recognizes him from before the apocalypse. So yeah, Beta's on a fucking rampage. And Gamma dies, rest in peace. I mean, she made some decent contributions to this group, you know, and letting them know where the, like, gargantuan, like, walker horde was in the cave. So she did her role in this series, but rest in peace. Elsewhere, Magna tells Yumiko that she and Connie were separated while the herd was being moved out of the cavern, and the pair decide to end the relationship on mutual terms after Yumiko punches Carol for causing Magna and Connie's predicament. So they decide to just be friends. Obviously, you know, they like the same sex. Like, I'm not even going to say the word because I know that's kind of offensive. But yeah, I don't really have anything. Okay, what else? Let me think of what else. I was going to say something. So, we're assuming that Connie's dead pretty much. We don't know if she's dead. Maybe she'll make a return to the series. But yeah. Meanwhile, Earl hides the children in a cottage as he prepares to kill himself, having been bitten during the battle. Doesn't really, like, tell anyone about it. He wants to go out kind of on his own terms. So, he plans to kill himself. However, his suicide attempt fails to destroy his brain, forcing Judith to put down his reanimated body afterward. He, like, shoves his head into a spike, but it doesn't, like, smash through his brain all the way, which is kind of fucked up. But yeah, it is what it is. A group of survivors later arrive to retrieve the children after finding Ezekiel. Daryl comforts the despondent Judith. Obviously, Daryl kind of being that father figure for her. This isn't going to be a long review, by the way. This episode kind of gets to the point. It's like the battle for like 10 minutes on something else, and then it's pretty focused, which is probably a good thing. So, in the woods, Negan reports to Alpha that he has found Lydia and like has her stowed away somewhere, locked up so she can't get away. He tries to talk her out of killing her own daughter, relating the story of how his late wife Lucille died from cancer, trying to kind of soften her up and try to maybe find an emotional point, but doesn't work. However, Alpha insists she believes this is the only thing she can do for her daughter for failing to become a Whisperer, and for choosing a different side, kill her, make her a part of her horde, force her into that role. Because, like, before, she was going to kill herself and have Lydia become Alpha, but no, it didn't happen that way. She ran away, all this stuff happens. As Lydia struggles free of her restraints, Negan leads Alpha to a nearby cabin, but it is soon revealed that Lydia isn't even in it. This is pretty much bait from Negan, and this is fucking insane. I can't believe they did this before the season finale. So much shit is going down. It's really cool. I like how unorthodox this show's kind of taking this season. A confused Alpha turns to Negan, who then slits her throat while her guard is down, killing her. So Alpha dies in this episode. Alpha and Gamma die in the same episode. It's kind of wild, man. So pretty much all we have is Beta, who is kind of like a bigger threat anyway. This is a fucking big-ass dude that can just throw you across the room. Negan then delivers Alpha's severed, reanimated head to Carol, who is pleased. And this whole time, I guess Negan was trying to like use Alpha to kill her for everyone else, and maybe this marks the turning point. Maybe he's back with the group. The character development of Negan as Jeffrey Dean Morgan was great in this episode. That was awesome. This was a pretty good episode. I mean, 94%, 8.1 out of 10, 18 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Following a swift and violent conclusion of last episode's harrowing battle, Walk With Us delivers a restless aftermath marked by stunning characters' deaths and unanticipated twist. This wasn't expected. I didn't expect Alpha to die now. I thought maybe they'd defeat her at the end of the season, but I don't know. So it's going to be completely unexpected, the rest of the season and possibly the rest of this show. The episode was awesome. I loved it. This season is just getting better. I was on the edge of my seat throughout this episode of The Walking Dead. R.I.P. Mary, a.k.a. Gamma, and Earl. Earl died too, I forgot. R.I.P. Alpha? It's crazy. C+ on the AV Club. I don't know what the fuck people are wanting out of this show at this point if you're giving it a C. It started great and ended even better. If only there weren't that whole episode in between to drag it down. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of filler in between, but I don't agree that this is a C episode. No. A- on the IndieWire. There are a few too many holes for the episode to be a complete success, but it's another very strong showing in a half season that's had way more good than bad. The second part of the hilltop battle was almost as great as the first part. It's pretty cool to see The Walking Dead go this big with a battle scene and really pull it off. Really makes you feel it, 4 out of 5 on Den of Geek. Solid performances abound with Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Samantha Morton continuing to be spectacular. 8 out of 10 on IGN. It was paced and plotted out in a bizarre way that left us asking questions. Some mid-card character deaths and a big final twist that took down the major villain helped elevate it in the end. Really gave this episode what it needed. This episode was great. A very impressive episode that helped bring an end to Samantha Morton's time as Alpha, who's one of the very best things about the show these last couple of seasons. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say. This was a pretty short video. The episode was only 43 minutes long. So, on TV, it'd be an hour of runtime with commercials. So, probably a lot of fucking commercial breaks, too. So, leave a like, comment, subscribe. That's it. I'm going to go see if I can watch Dexter. If not, I'll probably come right back down here and do a Zach Levine gameplay. Pretty excited for that. And we have a 2K surprise tomorrow. I'm going to announce it on Twitter tomorrow morning. Maybe even tonight. We'll have to see. A lot of good